again. Thank you for joining me for the fifth and final session with myself, Hayley, one of the exercise physiologists from the UHM Cardiac Rehab team. So this is the fifth instalment of the strength-based series that we've been doing. So we've gone from session 1 all the way through to session 5, gradually increasing in progression and intensity, and also variation of different strength-based exercises for you to follow. So this is going to be quite a hard workout for you to follow, quite advanced. So if you tune into this one from the off and you think, oh, a little bit difficult, just go back to some of the other sessions and follow those through until you feel ready to join us back on this fifth and final session. So as always, just make sure that you've got a nice clutter-free environment, open a window for ventilation, and make sure you've got a bottle of water, something to drink to keep yourself hydrated throughout this session. As I always say, I go through the ball scale, the rated procedure version. This is for you to just get a gauge on how hard something is for you whilst you're exercising. So you're looking to be, you go from 6 no exertion at all down to 20, which is maximal exertion. This is the hardest you've ever worked. So when you're doing strength-based exercises, ideally you're looking to be between 11, which is light, and somewhat hard, so that gives you an idea if you're working at the right intensity for the session. So we're going to go through a warm-up, do the main content, and then a cool-down at the end as well, just for safety precautions. But throughout the session, we're just going to go through if there's anything that you found uncomfortable or any pain or anything like that, stop the exercise immediately and join back in. As I always say, it's quite normal to feel a little bit of tension or aching in the muscles as you do the exercise, particularly with strength-based exercises, adding weight. That's perfectly normal, but any severe pain, then stop and join in with the next exercise. Equipment-wise today, I've got the chair still. I've also got a kettlebell and some dumbbells here. You don't have to have that sort of kit. You can just have tins of beans, water in a milk carton, an old milk carton to add weight, or if you have got bits and bobs you can use around the house, you can just go onto the internet and buy these sort of little light equipment to help with your workout. And also I've got a rucksack today with some books in to add a little bit of weight for some of the weighted exercises, and sometimes it's easier just to pop this on your back for added weight than it might be to hold additional weight for the exercises that I'm going to go through today. So, grab that out of the way. So like I say, fifth and final session, quite difficult, but just do what you can. If you feel anything too hard, go back to one of the previous sessions and see how you feel with that. Okay, so we're going to get started, and we'll start with the warm-up first. So, just a march on the spot. Just to get the heart rate and the breathing rate up. Get the blood flowing around to different muscle groups. A lot of the components that we're going to go through for the warm-up can be and will be relevant to the exercises, the strength-based exercises that we're going to go through throughout the session. Like I say, this is session 5, the highest functioning exercise session, quite difficult to do, quite high in intensity, added weight, added variation of movement, so just do what you feel that you're comfortable to do. We're going to do about a minute each for each of these exercises throughout the warm-up, just to get everything going. We're going to take it into a front tap. That's it, keep it going. Well done. And into a side tap, so just stepping out to the side, back to the middle. It's always an important aspect to warm up, just to make sure that all of the adrenaline is going where it needs to, your heart rate and your breathing rate is gradually increasing. What you don't want to be doing is go from being sat down on the sofa, rushing up and get going, because it's not good for your blood pressure or your heart rate. It's always safer just to do a gradual build up and keeping that side step going for a little bit longer. Okay, and we're going to go into a back step now, so stepping backwards, keeping that torso nice and upright though. Keep it going just for a few more seconds. Okay, we're going to go back to a march on the spot. So as we're marching on the spot, we're going to start with our palms facing away from us, bring them up and touch our shoulders with our fingers. Relax back down. Up. Up. Keeping that march on the spot, we're keeping that blood circulating around the body. A couple of more repetitions of this one. Good. Okay, we're going to keep that march going. Now I'm going to bring our hands up to chest height, pointing away from us, and we're going to push it away, turn, pull back in. Push away, turn, pull back in. Push away, turn, pull back in. Just trying to get the chest muscles warmed up now as well. Pushing out, turn, back in. Push it out, turn, back in. Okay, push it out, turn, back in. Okay, shut those arms out, keep that march on the spot going for a second. We want to start introducing a bigger arm swing now. Bit more movement there. Try and get that progression in heart rate and breathing rate, so you should be feeling a little bit warmer. And we're going to go back to the front step. And as you're tapping forward, bring the arms in. Front raise, just to shoulder height. Should be feeling yourself getting a little bit warmer now. A few more seconds for this one. Brilliant, and we're going to go back to the side steps. And as you're ready, you're going to reach and grab across the front. Just at shoulder height still. Well done. Keep that going, a few more seconds. Back to that march on the spot for me. What we're going to do now, get shoulder width apart, just get the calves warmed up for that component of the exercises we're going to do. So just onto your tiptoes, hold on to something if you need to, back of the chair, kitchen countertop, back down. Up. 10 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. Keep that march going. Just going to get some shoulder rolls going. 10 backward, 10 forward. Ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, sorry, gone past it. Forward again. 1, 10 forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, shake it out. Keep that march going just a little while longer. Really make sure we're nice and warm, nice and supple, ready for the workout. That march on the spot, nice big swing with those arms. And that's the warm up done. Okie dokie, so now on to the main part of the workout for session 5. Like I say, higher functioning, higher variations, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to do. So we're going to be doing one set of 12 repetitions as we have done throughout the whole series, but if you want to make it more difficult, you can add the set and rep ranges. And you're going to be picking a weight that makes sure that you work between that light to somewhat hard zone. If you can do 12 reps really easily, you need to probably increase your weight or go on to the higher intensity workout or a variation of that exercise. Once you've got to these sort of exercises, really it's always going to be about progressing the weight. There's not too much more that you want to be doing to increase the variation, just with regard to safety and moving safely and efficiently throughout the workout. Okay, so one set of 12 repetitions. As I always say, please count the reps out loud with me as you're performing them, because this helps to regulate your breathing. I will go through what correct form and posture will be for that exercise, and I want you to try and stick to it. If you start noticing that your form or your posture and technique is sort of flagging and isn't staying in a nice good posture or good technique, then I want you to decrease the weight, build up that strength a little bit more, and then add weight later on down the line. Okay, so the first exercise that we're going to do today is going to be a weighted squat. Now this can be done in a couple of ways. It's similar to the bodyweight squat. You're going to be standing, feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart and toes pointing out very slightly. You're going to keep a nice tall torso, head and chest nice and upright, and you can also put your arms out to counterbalance with this one if you want to. What I'm going to do is add a rucksack. So this is a bit like a weighted vest almost. It's add a little bit of extra weight to your body, which makes it harder for the legs when you do your squat. So, feet shoulder width apart, nice and upright, and you're just going to squat to a depth that's comfortable, making sure the knees trap over the toes. Don't want your knees coming in, nor too far out, just over where your toes are, keeping a nice straight torso and chest as you do it. So bend, back up, bend, back up. Okay? If you haven't got a rucksack or anything to hand, you can just grab your tinder beans or your milk carton. Hold your weight nice and close to your chest. Keep it nice and upright. Do the same sort of thing. Down, down, and up. Okay? The weight will be your counterbalance, rather than your arms being out in front of you. Okay, brilliant. Right, yeah, so I'm going to count you in. We're going to do one set of 12 repetitions. Make sure you count. Bottle of water, keep sipping it to stay hydrated for me as well. Okay, so are we ready? 3, 2, 1, off you go. One or the other with these, either the weighted rucksack or holding the weight in your hand. 4, 5, just to arrange a movement that's comfortable for you. 6, 7, should feel it in the quadriceps and your thighs. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, well done. Working the thigh muscles there. So I'm just going to back down, leaving my rucksack on for the next one. So leaving my rucksack on for this next one, and we're going to go back down to that kitchen top press up, so a lower surface for you to do your press up on. I'm just going to do it on the wall, but I wouldn't advise it. Get a table, do the table or kitchen counter, tuck the thumbs underneath so that you're not going to slip. We're keeping the rucksack on for added weight. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult now from what it was before. So keeping that body nice and straight, feet shoulder width apart, hands on the wall nice and flat, just slightly wider than where your shoulders are, at a low intensity. So this would be your kitchen work surface or something like that. So we're going to keep a nice straight body, we're just going to bend with that extra weight on our back up, bend, back up, and that's going to make it a little bit harder for you to do. So we're going to do 12 repetitions of that. Have a sip of water. I want you to count through the repetitions with me as we do them. Are you ready? I'll count you in. 3, 2, 1, off you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, past halfway, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 1 more, 12. The half of it, well done. So that's a bit more difficult. The felt that in the chest muscles, maybe the shoulders a little bit, depending on how wide your arms are as well. Okay, so I'm going to take this rucksack off. Don't need that one for the now. So, back to the step. Got that out here. So back to the step, or this can just be your bottom stairs at home or step on the porch, anything that you might have something to grab onto for support as well. And we're going to be working the calves again. So like I said, this is quite a high functioning movement. Don't go straight in with this, make sure you've built up over the session. What we're going to do, we're going to stand with our tippy toes on the edge of the step. Okay, and your heels are going to be floating over, so you're going to have to keep that weight. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up into a calf raise, so up onto our tiptoes whilst we're on the box, but then you're going to lower it down past where the step ends. Okay, so it'll be a slight tension, slight pull in the calf. Don't overstretch, should just be a slight bit of tension there. From there, drive back up to the calf raise, the full extension at the top. Down, back up, down, back up. And this makes it a little bit harder. You're fighting against gravity, adding to that resistance with your heels. Okay, make sure you've got something to hold on to get your balance. So we're going to do 1 set of 12 repetitions. Count your reps out loud with me. Make sure you've got your balance. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, off you go. So down and up. 1, 2, 3. Good for the balance this one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, last one, 12. So I have my hand up there for a bit of counterbalancing. That's absolutely fine. That's why it's important, just to make sure you've got a banister or something to hold on to. You should have a little bit more tension in the calves. You might get a little bit of soreness the next day or two after performing these exercises, but like I said, this is higher functioning workout now, pushing you a little bit with regard to what you can do. Okay, moving on to the next one. So we're going to get our trusted rucksack back, or if you've got your milk carton or something like that, we're going to be doing some weighted deadlifts. Okay, so deadlifts work the hamstrings, the bottom muscles, and also your lower back. So if I demonstrate this from the side, you want your feet about shoulder width apart, toe pointing forward this time for me though, so not out, toe pointing forward. You're going to do a slight hip hinge, you push your bottom back a little bit and make sure there's a bend in your knee. So then what I'm going to do is grab the handles of my rucksack from here, keeping my back nice and straight and nice, sort of looking 45 degrees down, so you've got a nice straight line within your neck. You don't want your head up or too far down, nice straight line. From here, keeping that back nice and braced, You're going to grab your weight, stand up, push your hips through, back down. Stand up, push your hips through, back down. Okay, you can add a little bit more weight to this one if you want to make it a little bit more difficult, but this is the principal movement. Also, if you feel that the rucksack is a little bit too high, you can go with a kettlebell, which would be a lower position to start with. So, creating that hinge, bending the knee, stand up, hips up, back down. I'll demonstrate that from the front. So, hinge the hips back, bend the knee, keep that back nice and straight. Stand up, push those hips through. Down, push those hips through. I'm going to demonstrate with the rucksack for now. Okay, so when you're ready, you're going to do 12 repetitions, keeping that back nice and straight. Feet shoulder width apart, 45-degree angle looking down, count the reps with me. You ready? Off we go. 1, 2, should feel it in the hamstrings a little bit. 3, 4, 5, count with me, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, last one, and 12. Well done. So that's more of a compound movement, working lots of different muscle groups at the same time. And really make sure you keep that posture nice, straight back, no bending, no hunching over. Really important so you don't cause yourself any injuries. But very good exercise for getting the hamstring, bottom and back all tuned in for that exercise. Okay, well done. So we're now going to go to the bent over row, which is a back exercise. I'm going to use the back of the chair as support again here. Obviously you can use your kitchen countertop or table or work surface or anything like that. To make it a little bit more difficult from session 4, I'm going to increase the weight. I'm now going for a kettlebell, but again use a milk cart and tinder beans, anything that you feel is most appropriate for you, but a little bit more added weight for this one. We're still going to go into that lunge position here, but this time we're just going to create more of a 45-degree angle in the torso. Don't want you going any further than that. You want to keep your chest upright, but 45-degree angle will be fine. So a bit of a bend in the knee, soft knee to hold that body weight there. So from here, your kettlebell, you start with a nice straight arm and you're pulling it up, keeping that elbow nice and tucked in. And from the front, it would look like this. Keeping it nice and tucked in, pull up, back down, keeping that head at that 45-degree angle. Pull up, back down. You should feel a slight pinch in your back muscles here. So we're going to do 12 on one arm, 12 on the other. Okay, are we ready? Count you in, 3, 2, 1, off you go. 1, count the reps with me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. Well done. Swap it over. Just put the chair onto the So creating that lunge, soft knee, 45-degree angle, pulling up towards your hip and elbow, coming up to a 90-degree angle. Are you ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. Okay, well done. Brilliant. Like I say, just go at a weight that feels comfortable for you. You can do 12 repetitions. Really easy. So you might need to consider upping your weight a little bit for these exercises. Make sure I'm keeping a posture nice and upright. Don't want you over here. 45-degree angle at the most for that one. Okay, well done. So moving on, we're now going to grab this step back. Yeah. And we're going to go back to that side step or the Peterson step that we did before, but this time with added weight. So I'm going to grab my kettlebell or your tinder beans or whatever you've got. So we're standing on the edge of your bottom step, whatever you've got at home, holding onto a banister for support. So one leg's going to be hanging off the side here, and the other foot stays nice and flat on the box or on the step at all times. So now you've got your weight in your hand, it's going to make it a little bit harder. You're going to have to counterbalance, use that core, and also work the leg muscles. So you're just going to lower yourself down nice and controlled, touch the floor very briefly, stand back up. But this foot here stays nice and flat. Okay? So down, drive back up. Down, drive back up. We're going to do 12 on one leg, 12 on the other. I'll count you in. Ready? 3, 2, 1, off you go. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more, 12. Brilliant. Swap the weight over to a different hand. Get your balance, let the other foot hang off. This foot here stays nice and flat on the step. Are we ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well done. You should have felt that in the thigh muscle there. And you're also working your core stability to keep you nice and upright throughout that exercise. Well done. Okay, nearly there. So we're going to keep the step as what we're doing for this next one. So what I'm actually going to do, make it a little bit harder, just increase the height of the step. So if you do have one of these at home, if not, just stick with the step that you've got, and that will do absolutely fine for this exercise. So it's going to be another combined movement. So you're going to step up, upright row. Hopefully you can still see my head there. Step up, upright row. So the upright row, keeping the kettlebell or the dumbbell or whatever weight you're using nice and close to your body. Bring those elbows up to shoulder height, back down. Okay, so you'll step up and down. Okay, so we're going to do 12 steps on one leg, 12 on the other. So you might need a little bit of a shake out with your arms in between, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, sip of water if you need to. Count your reps with me, don't hold your breath. And 3, 2, 1, off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Brilliant. So shake out a little bit, get the arms shaken out, and we're going to go with 12 on the other leg. Okay, still doing the upright row, but opposite leg to before. 12 repetitions, 3, 2, 1, off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one, 12. Well done. Let's put that kettlebell down. going to move the step out of the way. And bring the chair back in. Just for the last exercise of today's session. So, last week on last time on session 4, we did the single leg crunches on the chair. It's pretty difficult to do the next one. Works on your balance a lot. You really have to take that core stability. You only do it if you feel comfortable doing it. It's quite difficult. Like I say, all of the exercises today are higher functioning. So don't beat yourself up if you find them difficult to start with. Either stick on session 4 and just take bits and mix your workout up. Okay, but for this one, bottom in the middle of the seat, just very lightly touch the back of your chair with your shoulders and hold on to your seat for support. So, heels are going to be just very briefly touching the floor here, hopefully you can see. And from here, you're going to bring both feet up to a tuck, just to whatever range of movement is comfortable for you, back down to the floor. So heels will be flat on the floor again. So one repetition will be like 1, relax, 2, relax. I don't want you to count the reps with me because I don't want you to hold your breath throughout this one. Might have a tendency to throughout this and we don't want that. Okay? So, are we ready? Off we go. 1, 12 reps all together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, nearly there, 11, last one, 12. Yeah. You should have felt that in your tummy muscles and a little bit around your hips there as well, where your hip flexors are. That's really good to build that core muscle there. Okay. So, that's all of the exercises done. We've been through 8 different exercises there for you to try and have a variation of, increasing the weight as you feel able to do so. But this is the last sort of session in this series. Here's more of a workout. I'm out of breath, should get you working. But if you still find it easy, the next thing to do would be to increase in weight, but sticking to those sort of exercises that I've shown you today. So all we need to do now is just get cooled down, get a temperature down, heart rate and breathing rate too. So we'll just start with a march on the spot. Nice and steady. Make sure you're not stepping on anything. Just nice and gentle now. This is about getting everything sat back down again. And we'll just go back to some very gentle toe taps out in front. More, and then we'll go out to the side. Stepping out to the side, nothing too boundy now, just about cooling everything down and that workout. Well done. And back to that march on the spot for me. Get those wrists rolling. Should hopefully feel your temperature coming down a little bit now. And also your breathing should be settled, heart rate should be coming down a little bit. Roll the other way. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. And well done if you've worked your way through the session, through the series, to keep that march going just while we settle everything down. So this is the last in the series, this session is. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and you've taken something from it. As I said in previous sessions, you can pick and choose the exercises depending on what level you are with your upper body or your lower body. It's entirely up to you. But these sort of exercises you're looking to be performing between 2 or 3 times a week, with a rest day in between. And the recommendations are that you do between 8 to 10 exercises targeting larger muscle groups around the body. if you were to follow the sessions that I've done with you over these last 5 sessions, that would account for all of those muscle groups that are recommended by the national guidelines. And like I say, it's very important alongside, not instead of, aerobic exercises, and then also things that work on your posture and your balance as well. Okay, just get some shoulder rolls. I'm still wiggling my toes here. Just getting everything settled down. Nice big shoulders. A couple more backwards and we'll go forwards and forwards. Keeping those toes wiggling for now. Nearly there. And that's it, right? And we're done. So thank you very much for joining me. Like I say, I hope you've got something out of these sessions, and see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.